911, what's the address of your emergency? Tell me exactly what happened.
I think I killed my...
What do you mean by that? What happened?
I had a dream, and then I turn on the lights and she's dead on the floor.
How?
I have blood all over me, and there's a bloody knife on the bed, and I think I did it.
Matthew and Lauren Phelps were married less than a year, and at first they seemed like a match made in heaven. After all, he was an aspiring preacher and she was a devoted Sunday school teacher. But lurking beneath the happy newlywed facade was a dark secret. It started as an ordinary evening in Raleigh, North Carolina, but that all changed when Matthew made a bone-chilling call to 911.
I can't believe this.
When did you wake up to find this?
I don't even know what time it is.
All right, stay on the phone with me, sir. I just gotta ask you a few questions, okay? I'm getting some help to you. Are you with the patient now?
Yeah, I can see her.
Okay. All right. How old is the patient?
She's 29.
Okay. Is she awake at all right now? What makes you think she's dead? Is she awake?
She's not breathing.
Okay. Okay. Do you think she is beyond any help?
I don't know. I'm too scared to get too close to her.
Okay. Just stay on the phone with me, sir. I'm here with you.
Paramedics rushed to the couple's home and encountered a gruesome scene beyond their worst nightmares. It wasn't just that Lauren had been violently murdered in her own bedroom, but that the person sleeping next to her claimed to have no recollection of the night's events. Still, Matthew had an explanation for his missing memory, and it's one that shocked even the most seasoned detectives. 28-year-old Matthew Phelps and 29-year-old Lauren Hugelmeyer first met during their time together in a Kentucky middle school and bonded over a shared love for Star Wars. The pair lost touch for a while, but eventually reconnected. They started dating and were later married in November 2016. Matthew then moved into Lauren's quaint Raleigh townhouse to begin their married life. Scrolling through their social media feeds, the church-going couple appeared happy and very much in love. Lauren worked as an auditor, a Sunday school teacher, and a Scentsy salesperson. At the same time, Matthew was employed at a lawn care business and studying to become a pastor. Life was good, but all was not as it seemed to be. Well, that was until September 1st, 2017.
Hi, I'm Lauren, your Scentsy independent consultant. Thank you so much for joining me for this Facebook party. I just want to show you an inside scoop about what my favorite Scentsy things are. It has been a blessing to my life, for real, because I've met so many amazing, talented, inspiring women in the few months that I've been doing Scentsy, and I cannot be more grateful for the opportunity that Scentsy has given me.
Just 10 hours after Lauren posted an upbeat video to social media highlighting a new Scentsy product, Matthew made that harrowing call to 911. He explained to the dispatcher that he had just woken up from a dream to find himself covered in blood, with his wife lying in the fetal position on the bedroom floor. Paramedics rushed Lauren to a nearby hospital, where she was confirmed dead on arrival. An autopsy report later told a terrifying story of what happened that night. The medical examiner found that she had suffered 123 distinct stab wounds and cuts, some up to 4 inches deep, to her head, neck, abdomen, and arms. In addition, she had countless defense wounds and hair, later determined to be Matthew's, clutched in one of her hands. Therefore, the medical examiner listed her official cause of death as homicide by multiple sharp force injuries. Meanwhile, Matthew, who police found emotionless at the scene, was apprehended and brought to the station for questioning. Investigators honed in on the fact that during the 911 call, Matthew seemed to be blaming his actions on something truly bizarre.
When did you wake up?
I don't know. I took more medicine than I should have.
What medicine did you take?
I took horse eating, cough and cold, because I know it can make you feel good, so a lot of times I can't sleep at night.
All right, so what are you sure she's not breathing?
She's not moving. Oh my God.
Yes, you heard right. He claimed to have accidentally killed his wife in a hallucinatory state after ingesting an excess of Corsedin cough and cold, an over-the-counter medication. Now, this is where things really start to go off the rails. Bayer, the manufacturer of Coricidin, quickly reacted and released a statement expressing condolences to the family. They also remarked there is no evidence to suggest that Coricidin is associated with violent behavior. Still, detectives located an empty package of Coricidin at the crime scene, but not everything about Matthew's story was adding up. The crime scene seemed staged, with the murder weapon and medicine neatly placed where they would be visible to authorities. It also appeared that Matthew had attempted to clean himself up before paramedics arrived, as there wasn't nearly as much blood on him as would be expected. Still, Matthew insisted that the cold medicine made him kill his wife. Then, 4 days after Lauren's death, Matthew appeared in court for the first time, facing a first-degree murder charge. He entered the room and kept his head low to avoid eye contact with Lauren's loved ones, as the judge explained the potential consequences of his actions. Shortly after, a medical report was released stating that Matthew didn't have enough Coricidin in his system at the time to impact his reasoning, but he still didn't change his story. When Matthew's trial date finally arrived, prosecutors emphasized to the court that the attack on Lauren was both intentional and premeditated. They showed his search history leading up to the murder, which included questions like, how loopy does Coricidin make you? And, have other people been high from Coricidin? Adding even more fuel to the fire, investigators had conducted a luminol test at the house, which proved their suspicions that Matthew had tried to clean up the scene. Matthew's defense was basically grasping at straws and merely pointed to their client's seemingly harmless nature as the reason he should be found innocent. In reality, Michael's attorney was arguing a defense called diminished capacity. With a diminished capacity defense, any incapacitating factor, including voluntary intoxication, can be considered when evaluating a defendant's state of mind. Essentially, he is arguing that Matthew's mental condition was so diminished that he could not form the intent required to commit the crime. However, the fact that Matthew had made some suspicious internet searches cuts against this defense. On October 5, 2018, Matthew accepted a plea deal to avoid the death penalty and pled guilty to first-degree murder. He was given a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Following the sentencing, Matthew apologized to Lauren's loved ones. So, how did Matthew and Lauren go from marital bliss to murder in less than 1 year? Well, for starters, there were some financial difficulties. While Lauren had been rather thrifty in her spending, Matthew was known to blow large sums. I'm talking more money than he earned on iTunes and video games, forcing Lauren to pick up extra work. Things between them got so bad that Lauren actually confided in friends and family that she was thinking about leaving him just a short time after their wedding. Still, Matthew seemed like the perfect husband to those on the outside. But unbeknownst to everyone, he was hiding a darkness that had followed him since childhood. Matthew reportedly struggled with depression most of his life. He later became addicted to video games and frequently abused cold medicine. Oh, and he was so obsessed with the 2000 horror film American Psycho that he made a secret Instagram account under @Marty_radical to share photos of himself dressed as the movie's killer. Matthew's apparent hero worship of a movie serial killer should send alarm bells ringing. Idolizing Patrick Bateman and dressing up like his character is a sign that Matthew may have been fantasizing about what it would have been like to actually be him. He also shared personal posts on other platforms, with one reading, "Ever since I was little, I've had some strong activity in my dreams. Nightmares, night terrors, sleepwalking, hallucinations, and controlled dreams have filled my life so far." It later came out that Matthew had previously been married and was allegedly violent with his ex-wife, who testified against him in court. Moreover, Lauren's friends told investigators that Matthew had something of an inappropriate relationship with one of their neighbors. So yeah, there were some definite warning signs of trouble in paradise. Lauren's heartbroken sister released a statement to the media saying, "He seemed to love Lauren in spite of any flaws she could have and would do anything to make her happy. What we didn't know is that he was playing a game, a very deadly game. He was luring all of us into a trap by taking advantage of our kindness and generosity. We never once thought Lauren was in danger." Unfortunately, abusers are very good at hiding the truth from everyone who knows them. They are excellent actors and can play the role of doting partner in front of other people. It can be very difficult and often impossible for family members or friends to recognize that their loved one is in an abusive relationship. It's sometimes even difficult for the person involved in the relationship to recognize it as abuse. The abusive partner can be sweet and charming one day, but cruel the next, often leaving the victim confused or even blaming themselves.